Hey guys, what's up? I'm Greg. I hope you guys are ready to unpack and get into some good conversations today.
And I'm Jess, and this is our podcast, Baggage Claim. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Baggage Claim. I hope you guys are doing great. If it's your first time here, thanks for joining us. If you're a regular, you know the drill. First timers, man, thanks for being here. We're going to just grab your favorite drink, whatever that may be. We're going to circle up around the table, pull yourself up to the table, proverbially, because wherever you're at or whatever you're doing, Baggage Claim is a place where we just talk about marriage, relationships, and we're hoping to create some conversations and some community around both those things. And so, also,
I'd like to welcome you to episode 35.
Welcome to 35.
Holy
35.
moly.
Before we get into
Also, yes, and if you ever hear me giggle in the beginning, this is for our new friends. Okay.
Yeah, everybody knows this who's been around.
We all know this.
Yeah.
Literally, that's why I said this
You
is
can
for
tell
our
it
new
to the
friends.
new friends. Tell it to the new friends.
I'm
Go for
trying
it.
to, boys.
Our friends in Canada. What's up, eh?
Hey.
Oh my gosh, y'all. No, every time if I'm giggling during the intro, it's because I know 35 times we're going to do this. The guys do a clap so we can sync up the audio, video, all the things. And it's never not funny to me.
Right.
It's literally never not funny.
Maybe if we finally invest in one of those like little
It's-
thingies,
Yeah. And
Probably-
let Jess do it. Maybe it would be better.
then she
feel like-
wouldn't
no.
lie.
I've
I-
asked multiple times for someone to send us one, to message me and send me one,
Yeah.
and right now we still don't have one. So
So I still get to laugh at the clap.
laugh at the clap.
I feel like I'm going to laugh if it, no matter what.
All right, before we get way into this topic, thank you for explaining your life. We just want to say our new candle is because of Dog Hobble, where this past week we celebrated our 13th anniversary, and so we spent the day at a couple of our favorite wineries
In the mountains in Northeast Georgia.
Yes, and one of our favorite ones is a place called Dog Hobble. And if you
It's
know
one of
about
the-
it, you know, and it's an amazing place in
It's one of the
Dahlonega.
newer ones.
Yes.
Sweetest family owns it.
Super cool place. They just opened another little spot. They have a pavilion, which is outside. They have a little house outside. Well, I think it's 21 and older there. A really, really, really cool spot. If you haven't tried out Dog Hobble, you don't know about
And
them.
it's literally what we're saying, Dog
Hobble.
Hobble, but it's all one word.
It's a farm.
It is
that
the
has a
cutest farm.
winery,
Where the
and-
dogs hobble.
Yes, and
They
they have an
don't
amazing wine selection. It's
They
really,
do.
really good.
There's sheep you can watch.
Yeah, I think Zach is the guy we talked to last time we were
I
up there and
think.
hung out. But that's where our candle's from. It's our favorite wine, Triminette, which is ours there. We love it.
So if you're
Um,
watching on YouTube, that's what you're looking at. And
Yeah.
And it
he's
has a
beaut.
woodwick candle.
Yeah, if you're not, we have a
Which
wine
is
bottle on the
amazing.
podcast. It's cut in half. It's a wine. It's a candle, and it's a wine candle with.
She's a beauty.
Yeah, she smells
beaut,
delicious. She is a beaut. So go check them out. If you happen to go up there, just tell them, hey, we heard about you on a podcast called Baggage Claim. This is, I don't know.
We're
we love 'em. We're
wine club
fans.
members.
Yeah, we love them up there. They're great people. So
Yeah.
go check them out if, see what's happening. So before we get too serious into our episode, and I think it's time for us to jump into
Ready? Question time. You didn't even do it.
mhm.
Oh, my bad.
Nice.
You're the
That
backup
was,
singer.
that was good.
Yeah,
I
why
have
don't you
two.
relax a little bit?
All right,
You
shoot,
relax.
Jess. What you got?
We'll go for one, and we'll see how if the first
Yeah,
one
you
sucks.
start
we're
with the
not
best
doing-
one because if it's not good, we're going to skip
Yeah.
Oh,
ours.
that's not the
Skipping.
best one I was going to start with.
Oh.
My bad. Okay. I was going to start with the easy one.
No, we don't want easy.
Nah, bro.
Okay. Would you rather?
Oh Lord, this is gonna be a dumb question. Go ahead.
No, it's actually a good one.
Okay.
Would you rather have eyes that film everything or ears that record everything?
Ooh.
I know. You
I
said
think
it's
I would do
gonna be dumb.
ears that record everything.
Why?
Why?
I don't know, like, have you ever heard I don't know, this might be just me being weird and being into music and stuff. Like, you ever hear like just a mix of something that's just phenomenal and you just go back to it? Like something that just sounds great. Or like screaming into the Grand Canyon and just hearing the natural echoes and natural reverberations. Like,
I've never screamed in the Grand
I've
Canyon, but I
never
imagine it's
even
phenomenal.
seen the Grand Canyon.
what?
No,
It's a
Greg's
big
never
crack.
taken
It's
me
quite
there.
big. That's why they call it grand.
It's basically a
Ooh.
gully.
It
The
is.
Grand Gully.
It's the Grand Gully.
There's a lot of things I've seen on the TikToks about what Grand Canyon really is. It's like a lot of extraterrestrial.
Oh, don't. We're not doing that.
I'm
This
not.
is
I don't remember
that.
anything I've
Go
seen.
to the
I
Y
just know
Files
that-
if you want to read that.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I would rather have eyes that film everything
Okay. Why?
because I want to see my memories.
I would go with the record. So I think I care more about the words than the visual, and I think if you can hear it, you focus more on the words and not the visual, because sometimes in the visual you lose track of what's actually being said.
You know what's interesting is that I think it's what kind of learner you are.
Yeah,
Like I'm a
that makes
visual
sense.
learner, so I want to see it. So are we assuming that if you choose one, you forget how to do the other?
No,
So
I'm a visual learner.
no, I'm just saying, like, if you choose, you want to have eyes that film everything. Does that mean you can't hear anymore,
No.
or vice versa? That was not the
That
part.
wasn't the part of the question.
No,
Jess.
I'm just saying it's
Don't
interesting.
be deviating from your original question.
It's just interesting that you guys both are like, I want to hear it, but I want to see it. Because I'm pretending like if I choose, I want to see or film everything so I can see memories and see what I've seen. That means I can't hear it anymore.
You want to see what you see.
I know. I didn't.
Yeah, but then
know
I think
better.
of the Larry Fleet concert we went to, and I was like, ooh, I wish I could hear that again. Because it was so good. It was done so well.
Okay.
Yeah, that was sweet. God.
Yeah.
Love me
That's
some Larry Fleet.
true.
Right? Come
God,
on.
so good.
Shout out Larry Fleet. Thank you for coming to our hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude is solid.
It was amazing.
Production team was phenomenal. Larry Fleet, the guys were great, but it was a great
was
production.
amazing.
It was phenomenal.
All right.
Let's jump
Okay.
in.
Yeah,
Or do
let's-
you want to hit the second one?
No, because
let's
y'all are
jump-
gonna. There's the second one is the dumb one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's jump into our topic for today. We're reading through a book that started with.
Y'all.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
Greg and
Michael and I are reading through a book called The Comfort Crisis.
Yeah.
Great book. If you
Phenomenal.
haven't,
By Michael Easter.
I
Yeah,
crashed
Michael
your
Easter.
book talk
last night,
date.
or a couple of days, whenever.
It was just yesterday.
It
It
was
feels like
literally
it was a week
yesterday,
It
ago.
was yesterday. Wow.
But I was
Long day,
not
huh?
participating. Y'all were talking about your book. I brought my Kindle because I'm rereading Verity by Frida McFadden because the movie's coming out soon. So I was deep into my murder mystery. That's not really a murder mystery. Anyway, I wasn't listening to y'all. So
we got into the topic of. Thank you for telling us about your murder
no, it's not
mystery
by
book.
Frida McFadden. It's by
So-
excuse me, Colleen Hoover.
No.
I apologize.
So we were talking about the idea of being alone, and then we went on a rabbit trail. We started talking about
Yeah.
So
lots of
many
other
rabbit
things.
trails.
Yes, and so it led us to the idea of thinking about relationships in our life, and the idea of being alone, and the idea of solitude, and then it just started spiraling, which led us to this episode
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
of just getting together and saying, let's talk about solitude. Let's talk about being alone. And
Yeah.
what does that look like? What does it mean? How is that helpful? Because we say here on Baggage Claim so many times that if you want to be the best husband, the best wife, the best friend, all those people in your life, if you want to have great, good relationships, be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
In other words, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, those things, be on top of your game. You're going to be great in those areas.
I feel like
So-
I made a mistake though, like maybe 2 times I was listening to y'all's conversation and y'all were talking about being okay being alone, and I would just like raise my eyes out of my Kindle. I was like, I'm not okay being alone. That's not a good thing for me. And then it just went down this whole thing.
Well,
Yeah.
no, that led to us looking at Jess and saying,
Why?
so why do you not like being alone? She goes, I'm not going to talk about it. And she stuck her head back in her
exactly
Kindle.
what she said.
Yeah.
She was like, don't talk to me.
I don't wanna
reading the
talk
book
about it.
Then
now."
she tried to act like she didn't want to talk to us.
I don't
And
want
was
to
like,
talk
you
about
asked
it.
the question.
I'm
You
interested
did.
in my book. I'm sorry, I'm not here.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't ask it. You did.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to dive into that. And so there's some there's a study in the book. Do you want to, Michael, producer Michael is with us at the table tonight.
What's up?
Because this is a conversation we all have a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
even when we're together,
the
we
three
all
of
have
us-
this
Even
a lot.
before we even had this book, we've talked about aspects of this.
Right. And the
concept
three of
that we're
us
talking
have
about.
such good conversations. Like, even, I don't mean to veer off, but even like when we were eating dinner together just now before this, our routine, we have dinner together, then we do this. We had such a good conversation, and you said, this is when we need to be recording
Yeah, it was
right
great.
now.
He's like, why aren't we already
Or which
recording?
one of y'all said it, but it was just like, that was such good conversation. But we have talks like this often,
Yeah.
just as a friend group.
Yeah. So you hopefully just joining us as it may not be as structured as we
Mhm.
usually are, but this is us three friends having a conversation about this in life.
Yeah.
and
Welcome
how it
to our
affects-
friend group
Yes.
and
Well-
what conversations look like.
Yeah. I think one thing that we should maybe start with just in preface to this is there is an epidemic in America, even stated by the U.S. government, with a problem of people feeling lonely.
Correct.
And, it talks a little bit as to why is that. We're in a culture where we're around more people than ever. Even when we're by ourselves, we have voices speaking to us, whether it be a podcast or whether it be faces on a show or listening, scrolling through TikTok, whatever it is. We're actually never really alone.
No.
No, we're more connected than we've ever been.
Ever.
Supposedly.
Ever
Supposedly.
in all of civilization.
Well, what did you and I just talk about? I said last night, I am hooked on this guy. I don't know,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's this Finland guy who bought an island and is building a cabin with he and his wife and
With
a
his
really cute
bare
dog.
hands.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I am obsessed with this guy. Like there's a guy on TikTok named Bert. And he's like, hey, my name's Bert and build my house. I follow Bert.
Oh, yeah, you
Like,
do
I
love
watch
Bert.
Bert build his house. I love
Bert
it.
is building
I
a
love
huge
it.
house.
That's amazing.
First of
But
all,
it's like I'm into those things too.
Yeah.
So it's like you're right. Like if I have some time and I'm sitting on the couch, or I'm sitting in my chair.
well, that's what I said.
gonna watch
After I
something.
go
Yeah.
in the evening, after dinner, clean up, family time, whatever, and I go take a shower, get ready for bed, do all the skincare crap, and I come to tell him good night. That's what he's watching. He's either watching Bert build his house or the Finland guy right now.
Which
I
is
am.
hilarious because I do the same thing,
It's so
except for
cute.
this Asian dude is building a houseboat on
which
a
I'm
lake
really intrigued about.
with
I might have to
bamboo.
search-
I mean,
he
I'm-
uses
set up.
nothing but bamboo for everything.
I'm
and it's
intrigued by it too
brilliant.
because of all the things you said that he's doing on that boat.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they're like 3 hour long videos, and I like watch every second of it. It's insane.
But
Beautiful.
all that to say is even though we're more connected and like we or y'all have connection with these people that are nowhere near us,
Yeah.
people are more connected, but then we're also, there's a lot of lonely folks.
Yes, there's a lot of loneliness. And so I think it comes to, and what the book talks about is do we actually spend time alone?
Mm.
Isolated from technology,
Right.
isolated from everything else in the world, spend time alone. And people don't want to do that.
Now, we're
We
going to
don't.
refer to this book. Let's make sure we talk about the title again and the author. And we don't obviously own any rights to it. We don't have
No.
any affiliation to it.
But it's
This
brought
is-
about a lot of great
it's-
conversation between
Yeah,
Greg and
it's a
me.
book study that y'all have done, and y'all both have read this book before, but now you're
No.
doing it.
No, this
No.
is the first time.
I thought you
Neither of
read-
us have read this.
No, we've never.
Neither
read
of us have read it.
Okay, so
We've
my
literally kind of gone in blind because normally we know what a book is
Well,
more about. But
so in my split second of listening to y'all, I heard y'all say, so y'all must have read a couple chapters multiple times,
Yes.
is what I had
Yes,
heard.
Yes, I've re-listened.
Okay.
I listen to it and then I read it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so Michael, you want to just make sure we say the title and the author. And again,
Yeah.
we don't have any affiliation with this. It's just what we're doing.
no, it's the title is The Comfort Crisis, Embracing Discomfort to Reclaim Your Wild, Happy, and Healthy Self. And it is by Michael Easter.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
great.
I just want to make
Great
sure we
book.
It's
give
been great so far. We're only
give
like
it
maybe a
proper-
quarter of
just
the way
proper
through
credit.
so far. But it's been great. So talking about alone.
yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys have seen it either, but there's a TV show out there called Alone.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've seen
Great.
every
I
season.
love the show.
They're so good.
Yeah, and because I don't love it for the fact of saying, what are they going to do to survive? Blah blah blah. I just love seeing the
The social experiment.
process. That
Yes,
they
well,
go
the
through.
emotional
Yeah.
roller coaster people go
Yes.
through.
And it's like, and Jess and I were talking about this. It's like most of the people who quit the show or start the show, and then even end, they take themselves out almost at a point where they're just like, yeah, I just don't want to be alone anymore. I've gotten what I need to get. I don't want to be out here anymore. I don't like it. And they leave. And I was like, the sure tell sign of someone's not going to make it is if they have a picture of their loved one. Like, that's always like, yeah, bro, he ain't going to make it.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I know. It's just like the drama in me's like, yeah, who's going to fall out in the first 2 days?
Yeah. It's a crazy show, but it's all about, it's the mental aspect of that show is such a battle for people, not just to survive. Because you have, all of them have survival skills.
Yeah, very much so.
It's the idea of being in solitude by yourself. It's such a radical, crazy idea for people in today's time.
Well, what happens when we're in solitude?
You're kind of forced to deal with yourself. You're kind of forced to deal with your own thoughts, your own emotions, all of those things. You're kind of head to head, face to face with yourself.
Yeah. Can I read from this study?
Yes.
Is that all right? So there's a study that was done, and I believe it was from the University of Virginia. So by scientists at the University of Virginia. And they did a study where basically the researcher would go to the person and say, hey, you can stay in this room by yourself for X amount of time and be alone with your thoughts. No like technology, just you and yourself and your thoughts. Or I can stay in here with you. Like we can talk, do whatever, but you have to be shocked with electricity every so often for me to stay in here. 25% of women said, yes, I will take the shock so that someone's with me. 66% of men said, yes, I will take the electric shock so that I'm not alone.
Okay. That's crazy. Think about the idea. A quarter of the women said, I'll take the shot. Almost 3/4 of the guys said, yeah, I'll take the shot. That shocked me. I don't want to be by myself.
That's insane.
Yeah, that is crazy, actually.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it poses the question, like, how are we with our own thoughts? How are we with ourselves?
Oh, I'm completely uncomfortable with myself, and I'm completely uncomfortable with my thoughts by myself because it goes my self-thinking, my own thoughts go negative immediately. I have a very negative self-view, and that there's a lot of aspects to it. So I would 100% choose you just stand here with me and I'll shock myself if I need to, just so I'm not by myself. I literally cannot stand to be by myself.
That's interesting.
And there's a lot of different phases of my life where that comes from.
So has there ever been a time where you enjoyed solitude? You enjoyed being by yourself?
No.
Okay.
I'd say there's both for me. Like sometimes there have been times I've hated being by myself and I do everything in my world to distract myself, whether that be just taking my dog out for a walk or doing something or turning on a TV show or like going and doing build a project or something, anything sometimes.
Interesting.
How about you?
I will answer. He loves being by himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not on a regular basis.
No,
you love the when you get to choose.
Yes. I love choosing solitude.
Yes.
So I would say, I was talking to a buddy of mine, Tony. He listens. Awesome
hey, Tony.
Dude.
Hey, Sharon. Susan.
Susan.
I said Sharon. What am I talking about?
So it's great, but we were just talking today and I was like, man, I forgot my thought. Oh, I told him, I was like, my divorce was the best thing that happened to me and the worst thing that happened to me. And he's like, well, that's interesting. I was like, yeah, I was so afraid of being by myself.
Right.
The house I grew up in, everything, I was surrounding myself with people. I was a class clown because I always thought if I could be funny, get attention, those kind of things in my life, I would draw people in. I could be by myself. Well, when the divorce happened, it kind of forced me into a place where when I had my kids for 7 days, I was with my kids. When I didn't have my kids, it was me and my thoughts. And just it forced me to wrestle to the ground a lot of things that I had never really wrestled to the ground with.
Yeah.
And it caused me to look into myself and try to be like, am I okay with who I am? Am I okay with being with the guy that I am? And am I okay with this guy, or do I want to change it? And so I walked through that process, and it was not fun, but it was extremely helpful. Now I got to the point where I actually enjoyed and looked forward to time with myself, because when I was better by myself, oh, I was 100 times better when I was with people.
Yeah.
And so realizing that about myself, I was like, okay, I can't run from these things. I have to face them head on and unpack them.
And what's sweet and sad now at this point, or not even, I mean, this many years later, but once you got to there and then we met, you still craved that alone time, but then you also felt guilty for taking alone time. And I think you still battle with that now.
I do because it feels kind of selfish.
Right.
But I know that I need it. It goes back to that
Because you were the
idea of-
least selfish husband and father there ever could be. And so, yeah, I can see, I have seen you struggle with that. And you've said,
That's why
gosh,
my adventures
yes,
have kind of tailed off, because
yeah,
I feel selfish.
and you've
in
said
doing
so
those.
many years, man. And it was just like in a conversation with you and I, man, I could really use just a couple of days in like the woods camping by myself. And I'm like, go do it. And I've never said don't, but you still, you struggle with that, the desire to be by yourself versus.
Yeah, because I have that. I've battled that from, I don't want to miss something,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about. But the whole idea is that growing up, I felt like my dad missed a huge portion of it, and I don't want to miss anything. But our kids are grown.
Yeah.
Like they're leading their own lives. Like, and so that is a huge battle for me. And I constantly, I'm back and forth with that. But I know.
Do you think that you knowing how much I absolutely detest being by myself has anything to do with that?
Yeah, because you tell me every time. In fact, the last time I went on a trip,
oh my God,
you would tell me, I think the last one time I went to Korea and Russia,
yeah.
and
I cried
it was
every
like
day.
a 2-week trip.
Yeah, well, also, you know what was worse
Stayed at
is
your
when you were,
dad's.
because when you went to Korea and Russia, all 4 of our kids went to student camp at the same time for the first time. That had never happened.
Ooh.
So all of my babies left me, and
So
then
it's
my
like our house
husband
went from
literally
being
went
crazy crowded
to the
nobody.
Yes, to the
That would
you
be
went to
cool.
the other side of the world. So yes, I spent that entire week to 10 days at my dad and stepmom's house for dinner every night, crying because everybody had quote unquote in my heart and my brain deserted me, because being alone is by myself and it's bad. That's my equation to alone. So, yeah, and I feel so bad for that. I'll just say I'm sorry in front of literally all of our, however many listeners we have at this point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I feel so badly about being alone that it makes you feel bad. I'm sorry.
Can I open up the paradox of all of this?
Yes.
Like, because
Sure.
it's like kind of like an oxymoron, right? So
Yeah.
we're talking about how loneliness is a crazy pandemic. Like, it's insane the amount of people that feel lonely in the United States currently. But we're talking about being intentional to be alone.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
How does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
like help us make sense of that, because like I'm sure like we got listeners listening is like, that's literally should be the opposite of what we should be doing, right?
Right.
Well, yeah.
Ask me again.
Okay, so we have this epidemic of loneliness going on,
Right.
and we're talking about taking time to be alone.
Can I ask a question? Do you think loneliness is different from solitude?
Personally, no.
Yes.
Okay. 2 different
Hang on, the
answers.
essay asked the question again.
Do you think loneliness is different from solitude?
Yes.
Okay. So do you think you can choose loneliness, or do you think it finds you? Because you choose solitude.
You do.
Yes, you do
that's
choose
that's where
solitude.
I was going to go. You choose solitude.
But
Like,
do you choose loneliness?
not always, no.
I think you do.
Okay. Help me unpack
Okay.
that. Talk to me.
And I say this because I've been there myself. Being intentional to surround yourself with friends, being intentional to be real with friends. And in doing so, you'll, in a lot of ways, find out true friends and who's going to pour into you and love you and build you
Okay.
up.
On the other side of that, let's just say there have been family members
Mhm.
who are single adults living their own life while everybody else and the family, friends, what have you, are living their lives around them, but there's a lot of time alone. That's loneliness. Not because you don't choose, it's not the act of choosing to not be included in or not whatever. It's just because like life is happening around you.
Yeah, I get that.
And that's a loneliness that you don't choose.
But don't you get to choose to be a part of that? You get to choose
In a
to,
sense,
you get
yes.
to choose to sit in your apartment or sit in your home by yourself.
I'll say this, okay, and this is just real life, and y'all are very much a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
When I was going through my divorce, one of the first things y'all did, and this is outside of, obviously, we worked together and we met a lot when it came to talking about my divorce as friends.
Did. Yeah.
But you want to know what like got me connected to you and the rest of your family? Greg would be like, hey, there's a Georgia game this Saturday. Come hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, like, those for that first season, I probably showed up at halftime every day.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come. And it wasn't that I didn't want to hang out with y'all.
No.
I was going through hell
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
But I just kept remembering, I've got to push past this.
And we actually want you here too.
But I just remember, and this is why I say, and I understand, not everyone has lived what I've lived. Everyone has different circumstances, different things they've been through. So I understand there's differences. But for me, when I was lonely, it was a matter of someone cared enough to reach out to me and invite me somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I might be an hour and a half late, but I'm going to go.
You're going to get there.
Yeah.
I'm going to get there. And sometimes it was me just literally sitting on my couch, not wanting to do anything and wrestling in my mind for that hour and a half saying, it'd be so good to go.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, but I don't want to be around anyone right now.
Yeah. Well,
Then
I mean,
5 minutes later, Michael, you really need to get up and go. And then I'm like, but I don't want to talk about anything. Someone's going to ask me how I'm doing, and I'm not going to be able to keep it together.
Right. Yeah.
But all in all, and there were a couple of weeks I didn't come.
Yeah.
There were days that I didn't come.
Yeah.
But basically, ever since I started coming, I'm at every single home game.
Yeah.
Even the late ones. And I got early Sunday mornings. So like,
You do.
So for me, when I say yes, that is a choice.
Yeah.
Every decision that we make leads to or away from loneliness.
It does. And I love that you brought that fact up because earlier before you got here for dinner, we were talking about my grandmother. And I probably will get emotional talking about Nanny because she's my spirit animal, I guess. I don't know. But Nanny was very active and very involved and like
a social butterfly.
Yes. Like she literally retired from being a nurse full time when Thomas was born, who's 24 and a half at this point, I guess, from whenever she would have retired. And so she retired to keep him, but still like enrolled both of them in Mother's Morning Out. And like then Erin Grace came along, like she was still very social. And then her Sunday school class. And because at that point, my grandfather had passed away, but she was very intentional about her friend group, her Sunday school class, the outings and serving the community, keeping the grandkids. And then when Greg and I got married, she was still coming to almost every single kid event, birthday parties and holidays, and just very, very intentional about her own community and our family community too. Well, as she got older, yes, she was in her 80s and she had some like health problems, and she just had kind of decided like, I'm kind of done being social. And so that diminished like her friend group and her Sunday school crew. And then another level came in of like, well, I can't make it at this birthday party. And like, it just kept diminishing. And she was making choices to stay home. And I remember you and I had the conversation with her so many times. Don't shut yourself in. Don't do that. Let's keep going. I know it's hard. I know it hurts and all these things. But as soon as she decided she was done like being involved and being social, that loneliness set in, and it escalated the process towards the end for her.
Yeah.
And
very
so,
much so.
those social connections and those relationships that she had thrived with for so many years was what was keeping her going. And she just couldn't see that at that point. And so
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, like your friend group, and I have been in these shoes, your friend group can be the ones that can make or break that loneliness for you, not because you're choosing it, but because I would hope that you have friends in your life like I did and like you did and like you do
Mhm.
and did, to be like, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I want you to keep coming, even if it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, Preston will just call me and tell me to stop being an idiot and show up.
Right.
Well, I had,
Literally.
I mean, Damon was the guy for me when
Right.
I literally would just show up at his house, or if I didn't show up for
Yeah.
something, he would call me
Yeah.
and come
Yeah.
find me and be
And
like,
Lisa
"Where
and
you at?
Chad were that for me.
Yeah, what's going
And
on?"
a handful of other friends, but they were those people for me. Like, I hope that we had been there for you,
Yeah.
Michael, of
Yeah.
just being like, no. I don't care if you want to watch football or not. I want you to be physically here with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Can I read another study
Yes.
that comes from this book that Michael Easter brings out? He said, this is a study from scientists at Brigham Young University. It says it doesn't matter how old you are, how much money you have, being lonely increases the risk of dying within the next 7 years by 26%.
Yes.
Overall, it can shorten your life by 15 years, which is the equivalent of smoking half a pack of cigarettes a day.
Wow.
Yeah, that's insane.
Just simply being lonely in your
Wow.
life
yeah.
increase the chances of you dying in the next 7 years by 26%, which is wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But it can also shorten your life by 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then it says good relationships, according to another study done by Harvard, is the key ingredient to happiness across your lifespan, completely blowing fortune and fame out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
So, if there's one thing we can push more than fortune and fame is good relationships.
Good relationships.
Good relationships. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. Like, because it really is true. Like, I had the conversation with someone the other day, and I was like, I've had the incredible opportunity to sit across the table from people who made stupid money. I mean, like,
Yeah.
life-changing money, who ran very successful large companies.
Fortune 500.
Yeah,
like top
big companies.
tier.
And would just say, everything I have is in this. I've given everything to this company, and this is all I have.
Mm.
And it's so
Sad.
like, I've given my life to my job. I have tons of money, but I don't love what I have.
Yeah.
And that's
sad.
a sad thing, because I've met with lots of young people who go, I just want to make this amount of money. I was like, you can make
No, you
that
don't.
amount of money all day long.
You're still
But it's
going to
going
be
to
sad.
cost you something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, everything costs you. It's going to cost you, and you're probably going to like the cost at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the idea is like, you can do it. But I guess just sitting around the table with those guys always made me look at money different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and fortune and fame, and just to go, it's not what it's all about.
No.
No.
Like, it's not, because at the end,
You're not taking anything with you.
yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Like, it
Yeah.
really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I
Like-
appreciate that part of you. That was before you and I met. But I mean, that's what makes part of baggage claim what it even is because you've lived that part of with those folks who make all the money and that people think that they want, you
Yeah.
know, like this portfolio or this, that, and the other. I mean, I'm struggling not to name the name brands who you've worked for, but it's some really big folks, or not for work. I mean, with.
Yeah.
I mean, you're.
I think the biggest thing for me, though, like when I look at all of those things, and I look at, I had a conversation. I was talking to Tony. We've been hanging out a lot here lately. We're riding back and forth, and I was telling him a story, and I was like, "Yeah, Jess was sick, and Thomas called me, and he says, hey, you want to go to Mellow and just have a beer?" And I was like, I can't tell you how happy.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably more important to me.
Not probably. It is.
Yeah. For that phone call to go sit at the bar, have a beer, and talk football.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
talk life.
Anything.
Just have a beer
Than-
with your son.
Than any amount of money that you could shove my way.
Yeah.
Like, because those things fade. Like, I'm not a material, like, so what?
No.
Stuff just comes and goes. But like,
Mhm.
that is huge for me to go. That if you want to know what, at the end, when I think about my life as success, is like, if my kids want to hang out with me,
Yeah.
and that's huge for me. Like
Yeah.
that's a win all day long. And so
like the fact that all of our kids, our out of state ones, our busy ones, our first responder kid, like all of them are going to be in town here with us for Thanksgiving on one day I'm over the moon.
yeah, just as excited about that.
I'm like, I've scheduled a photographer. We're getting a brand new family pictures.
Yes.
So we can have a family picture with Lulu in it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I am, that one day is my Super Bowl for 2025 and probably 2026. Just all of it. Like that, having them all here because they want to be here and they have made sacrifices to be here is like, that's all I need. Literally.
But the idea of that goes back to good relationships.
Yes.
Is way more important than fame
anything
or fortune.
else.
Yeah.
Well, and I think this is the whole purpose of talking about being alone, because when you are alone in solitude, nothing else going on. I'm not talking about, Netflix playing in the background.
No.
I'm talking
doom
you
scrolling
are alone,
on
no
socials.
technology.
Yeah.
You only have your thoughts.
Yep.
Things surface about yourself that you may not want to address.
I will say that firsthand.
1,000%.
Firsthand for my own self. I am better when I am not alone because when I'm alone, and I mean, this has been for ever. I've never enjoyed being alone. I don't even know what the root cause of that is. But then with losing my first husband, when I'm alone, if Greg's not with me, I immediately, and I said before in other episodes, like when we got together and decided to try to build a future together, I had to go back to counseling to work on like not immediately going to, well, if he doesn't respond to me in 30 seconds when I text him, or if he doesn't answer the phone when I call him, something's wrong. Something has happened to him. Like I had to go through that back then, 13 years ago. But I still struggle with that. If I don't, and I kick myself for this even now, like these days you've been working away from home, about an hour from home. And so I have really had to self-talk myself, even when I'm teaching. If I don't hear back from him, if it's been an hour or so, I have to be like, he's fine. He's fine. He's okay. He's fine. So I go through those fearful thoughts in my own head. I have very negative self-talk in my own head about my own self. And so I very much struggle with still now, literally today, of if I'm alone, I go directly in my own thoughts to negative town. And I have really fought against that my whole life, but a lot in the past probably decade or so. And I have the hardest time breaking myself from that, which is why I don't like to be alone. I would prefer to be with other people.
Yeah, because you don't have to deal with that.
Because I don't have to think too
you don't
hard.
have to deal with it.
Well, and it goes back, and I know we've talked about this on the podcast before, but like the average, and this is a give or take number, I don't remember the absolute specific, but I think it's a 13-to-1 ratio. When we have our own thoughts about ourselves, it's 13 negative thoughts about yourself versus every one good thought.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
the
100%
average.
That, yes.
That's the average for most people, which is incredibly disheartening. How we think about ourselves, which makes complete sense why 25% of women say no, shock me, and stay in the room with me. 100%. And 66% of men say shock me and then stay in the room with me.
I'm kind of surprised it's not flip-flopped where it's like...
Yeah, guys just hide their fears better.
Well, okay.
They just
that
hide
makes
it
sense.
better.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
I was really surprised at the vast difference between the two.
Yeah.
I really was.
But this is what I have loved about this book so far. And this is the reason why he talks about being alone, is because he's encouraging you to wrestle those thoughts.
Right.
Work through those thoughts. Because there's a reason why we have these thoughts. Either one, it's because we wish we would change something about ourselves.
Right.
Or two, we're believing a lie about ourselves.
Yeah.
So either one, we need to, and this is something I know you hear me say this all the time, check myself.
Yeah.
check myself. Okay, is this a lie I'm believing about myself? Finalize that thought. If I have a negative thought about myself, I need to finalize it, because that thought's going to keep coming back and keep coming back. If you're anything like me, it does.
Right.
But until I
For
take
me,
that.
I don't mean to interrupt
No,
you. I'm
you're fine.
sorry. For me, it's a 50-50. 50% probably is lies I tell myself or things I believe about myself that are likely not true, or there's some hint of not true. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's hard for me to decipher, obviously.
Yeah.
And then 50% is just fear of what I cannot control.
Mhm.
And that's where my negative thought cycle comes from. And I know in just conversation with me and you, those are things that you don't necessarily identify with, because that's not where your negative thoughts come from.
No. A good book for if you're where Jess is at, a great book to listen to and read. I've read and listened to it a couple of times, is Don't Believe Everything You Think.
Yeah.
Great book.
I haven't read that yet.
Side
note, I need
Is
to.
that where those statistics were that you were sharing earlier?
No, that's a different one, but it is an interesting, because we talked about,
Yeah.
I shared these statistics with these guys when we were having dinner, that it was talking about worry and our thoughts.
Yeah.
And the idea was, it says they surveyed and followed people who had these worries, and 85% of the worries that these people had never even happened. And so they just, the things that they were worrying about, 85% of them never happened.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the last 15%, only 12% of those worries that they had turned out way better than they actually thought they would. So the results were way better. So
Yeah.
basically, he said only 3% of the things you worry about are actually ever going to happen.
Right.
So
Wow.
you're wasting so much mental capacity and so much mental stress, all those things of life, because it steals your present joy.
Oh,
Of what you
100%.
have.
It's the capacity of how much emotion
Right.
you have in
Yeah.
your everything.
So it's one
And
out of
what's even-
33 worries you have is actually going to happen.
And what's even more frustrating as
Wow.
a Christian, the three of us are Christians, is that I know the power of prayer. I know what the Lord has promised me, and I know that He will help me take those thoughts captive. And I mean, He wants good for us.
Yep.
And it's so hard. It's that battle. There's literally a battle in my brain when it comes to when I'm alone versus when I'm with other folks. And it's just incredibly frustrating to be in my own brain sometimes.
Well, it is for all of us. I mean, even our listeners right now are listening going, yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
I get that,
Yeah.
100%. And this is not an easy thing.
No.
That's why no one really does it, because it's easy. We create this comfortable place in our lives
Yeah.
where we don't have to deal with it. I can turn on TikTok. I can watch my guy in Finland on an island build a cabin. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Well,
You
and
can
I
watch
was-
your guy
Absolutely.
build his bamboo
And I was
houseboat.
talking to
Yeah.
y'all earlier, like with my first graders, I can watch like the ASMR videos of slime or sand and like all these like satisfying videos. I'll sit on the carpet and, zone out with them. And I said, I'm like, or if I could break myself out of this cycle, I could pick a book to read out loud with them and not at the last 5 minutes of my day not zone out with them. Like, it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard.
So what do we
difficult.
do with that?
So let's go
what
to
do we do?
Can I say the purpose of why he's talking about being alone?
Yes,
he
and we're gonna
says,
unpack.
yes, very much. So he says, maybe, just maybe, if you can master the art of being alone, then you can bring more value to the friendships and communities you have.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's brilliant, because that makes me think of like, okay, because we don't like being alone because we bring no value. We only get devalued when we're alone.
Okay.
So if we can't bring value to the time that we have with ourselves, how are we supposed to bring value to the time that we have with others?
Hey, that's your mic drop moment right there.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, but
Okay,
that's
yeah, it's so
crucial.
true.
But
That's
it's
huge.
true, though,
So
Michael.
and even ask like,
Wow.
okay,
Yeah.
what kind of friendships do you have? What kind of relationships do you have? And I think it does make us look inward to say, okay, well,
It should.
what kind of value can I even bring myself?
Yeah.
And this is not it's not a look down on yourself. This is not to be
Well, I was just about to say, in a full transparency moment, that makes me feel like I should be like, I'm sorry, Greg, for what you have to repeat yourself over and over again to speak into the value of what you see of my own self that I don't see in me. Because I would imagine that, I mean, it could be annoying.
It is. It like kind of hurts to hear that.
Yeah.
Like,
It does.
So here's something I have for unpack.
okay.
I want it to be simple, but I think there's two things I want people to do.
Okay.
You can agree or disagree. We haven't talked about this at all.
No, we have not.
Literally, it's
My
just kind of
handy
a
dandy
thought.
notebook has hardly nothing in
this
it
is
for
a
today.
thought- This is a thought that came to me while we're doing this podcast.
Go
One thing
for
I
it,
want you
honey.
to do, I want you to practice solitude this week. And you may be like, Greg, I don't know how.
Makes me
If you're in the car, cut the radio off. Don't
Yeah.
play music. Don't play anything. Just ride in silence wherever you're going. Just be with your thoughts.
That makes me very uncomfortable.
That's the point. So whatever that is, if you can choose to be, if it's 10 minutes or if it's an hour,
Mm-hmm.
choose the solitude. And then the second thing I want you to do is I want you each day, each morning you get up, either on your phone, send a text to yourself. What is one thing I like about myself?
Yeah.
What is one thing I like about, and it may be after your time of solitude, maybe it's something to think about on solitude. What's one thing I like about myself? If you can't find one thing you like about yourself, bro, you need to spend some more time and like digging into yourself. Like surround yourself with some people.
Okay, one thing for a person who
Positive.
one person who has a hard time finding positive things, one thing a day or one thing, period. What's our goal?
Each day, right? One thing.
Gosh. Okay.
Do it. All I'm asking you to do is do it for 1 week.
Okay.
So you need 7 things that you really like about
You're
yourself.
challenging me.
I'm challenging all of us.
No, I'm just saying though, like,
And we can all text each other in our group and say,
okay,
here's one thing I like about myself today.
I think that's good.
And here's, find for you guys who are listening, somebody who's your friend, your spouse, whoever it may be, your best friend.
Yeah.
Text them and say, here's one thing I like about myself
Drop a comment,
today.
man. Like seriously, I'd love to hear that.
I would
I'd
literally
love to hear
love.
what people think through.
Or
it.
if you want to direct
On any of our
message us
socials.
on any of the places.
yeah,
If you're listening and you follow us on all the things, literally send us one thing you like about. You don't have to do it a day. Just one thing in general that you like about yourself.
Because it's going to make your relationships better. The
I
more
would
you
agree.
love yourself, the Bible says the greatest commandment is to love your Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And learn to love yourself, and you're going to love your neighbor, your wife, your spouse, all those people
That's
so
good.
much better. And that's just truth. And
Yeah.
whether you believe it or not, it's truth. And
Yeah.
so
And can I encourage, because honestly, in some of these ways, this is something we've been practicing as we've been going through this book, things we've talked about before in ministry, but it also seems very, very like small. It's like, oh my gosh, do I really have to write down something I like about myself? You know, but when you think about all of these things that we wrestle with internally, mentally, in our health and emotional and mental health, we never put to practice these kinds of things.
no.
And I think of little baby Lulu, sweet little girl.
Grandbaby
Yesterday
girl.
at the dog game, man, she was getting everywhere. She's starting to walk.
Yes.
Gosh.
But the reality is she didn't just get up and run a marathon.
No.
No, she had to take one step. She had to crawl 10 feet, then take one step.
Yep.
And so
baby girl.
maybe if you're looking at it and you're like, oh, that's a silly exercise. I want to encourage you, like, maybe this is that first step.
Yeah. Have you ever
Take a
watched a
small
baby
step.
learn how to walk?
Yeah.
It's huge. And like
And
you're saying,
adorable.
it is the sweetest thing. And she gets so excited with the little hands up.
Mhm.
Honestly,
That's our journey though in life.
Yes.
that's where I'm
everything.
going with that. I wish and I hope for, and maybe you boys can help me be accountable to that. As I am 47 and trying to take steps to finding one thing or two things that I like about myself, I should feel like baby Lucy and celebrating like with her hands up. Maybe I can learn to do that for my own self, or our friends that are listening can do that too. Like,
Yeah.
and then learn.
That makes my heart happy to think somebody out there would see something in themselves.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That it's, dude, give me 5 minutes with you. The 5 minutes with the people that are around you who love you and care about you. They can tell you 7 things just like that they think you're amazing at. And so,
Can you name that? Maybe 3 things that you like about your
Yeah.
own self.
that's all
And
you
maybe
need.
we're going to share a video of baby Lulu learning how to walk. And I
Mhm.
want you to feel that same excitement
Yeah.
There you go.
about your own self.
Well, what a fun, deep,
Yeah.
encouraging, fun conversation.
It is.
Yeah.
Practice some solitude as short, as long as you can. And write those things one day,
Yeah.
one thing each day. And let's take those little Lucy first steps.
Yeah.
And let's learn to run, but we got to learn to walk first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is part of the process. So
Yeah. Thank you for listening, though.
yeah, thank you
Yes,
guys
thank
for
you.
joining
We
us.
appreciate it.
We're still growing. We picked up another
country today that we cannot pronounce.
Yeah, so it's fun. Thank you guys. Love you guys so much. Interact with us. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us
Yeah.
what you want us to talk about.
Our local friends are very good at that. We would love to hear from some of you people that are listening. All of these
All across
wild.
the United States.
Yes.
From Washington to California to Pennsylvania to Michigan, Maine, all over the place.
Yeah, to the foreign countries that are crazy.
Yeah, you guys that are in
Canada.
Malaysia. You guys are in Malaysia.
Singapore.
Yeah.
Please
Who
tell us what
are y'all?
Please
There's
tell us
like
what you want to hear.
so many downloads there.
Yeah.
Please just send us a message. Just say hello.
Yeah.
You don't even have to have a question or a comment. Just say hello. And
Yeah.
I would probably lose my whole mind if that was the case. But thank you so much.
Jess into coming and visiting you guys. So, but anyway, love you guys. Thank you so much. I hope Baggage Claim is a place where you do feel connection and conversations and community and around relationships, and you grow from that. So
We do.
Yeah.
take your first steps
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
And as we always say, go dogs.
Go dogs.
The music intro is so good. I
is.
can't even think of it right now. What is it?
Where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
And they're always glad you came.
Dun, dun, dun.
You wanna go where? Where everybody knows your name.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I love that.
Hey.
All right.